Hello again, wrestling fans. Welcome back. It is time to watch the SmackDown, time to watch the wrestling, time to watch the A show of WWE, at least. And after some major movements from AEW, maybe not the A show for that much longer. We'll have to wait and see what they can deliver, because tonight we have a contract signing. We have Balor and Reigns having a contract signing for WWE SummerSlam tonight. There is a bit of a spoiler in the women's division, which I won't immediately spoil, but it's here, and we'll definitely be covering it over the course of the night. We have people already dropping in. Vabav is here saying, hi, Tom. Welcome, Vabav. Nice to see you. Jake is also here saying, hey, Tom. Welcome to you as well. And Moxie is here on the dot saying, hi, Tom. I'm here early. Welcome, everyone. The show will undoubtedly fill up over the course. I'm going to stick my ticker on, which literally just says where you can find the Twitch show. Earlier today on Twitch, let's break down the news that you can expect on YouTube that I've already shared on Twitch. So I shared news. WWE SummerSlam 2021 is a statement to AEW from WWE and from Vince McMahon. This was news about Vince taking his jab at AEW and the fact that SummerSlam is a big promise to the to the networks of USA and Fox. Big announcement coming for the women's divisions after WWE SummerSlam 2021. A lot of information there as to the upcoming draft, women moving from one side to another, the Queen of the Ring, the future for Mia Yim and for Nikki Cross as well. We talked about CM Punk's upcoming debut, who his first feud will be, and the fact that he hasn't formally signed the contract yet, so he's still a flight risk. We then talked about Brock Lesnar speaking with AEW, the UFC, and WWE all at the same time, before finally wrapping up by talking about Daniel Bryan, Dominoes, and blacklisting. Big thing on blacklisting. Briefly seems like I had an issue on Twitch there. Hopefully everything is fine now. Seems so. Sean Rogers is here. Welcome to Sean. Glad to see you. And Sean says, Cena isn't getting the title match at SummerSlam, then who will he face if he isn't facing Roman? I still believe, Sean, Cena will get the title match against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. There is still plenty of time for that to happen. Bill says, hello, welcome, Bill. So glad to see you. And the user just says, hi, mate, which is always a lovely little greeting. I always like that. Welcome, everybody. Tonight is WWE SmackDown. Very glad to see so many familiar faces from the YouTube side. If you are on the YouTube side, please do remember to click like on the video. That makes a big difference to my individual growth. At the moment, just before SmackDown starts, we are on 631 subscribers. So every little helps. The video that we uploaded to YouTube today, about 7 hours ago, was 10 WWE wrestlers who will change brand in the WWE Draft 2021. So far, that's got 59 views and some very, very good scores when it comes to the watch rates. In order to get that to be the #1 video on my channel over the course of that time, 3 views. Just 3 views. So that has done extremely well. Moxie says this should have been the Universal Belt. What should have been the Universal Belt, right? If you mean the one in your image, I'm not sure what you mean. Sean says, I thought Balor was facing Roman at SummerSlam. That's what the WWE definitely want you to think. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed. There is a contract signing between Balor and Roman tonight. Trust me, Cena's going to have something to say about that. Michael is here, says, hi, Tom. Welcome, Michael. Bet you're excited. Okay, Moxie, I get you. Jermaine is here saying, hi, Tom. Welcome, Jermaine. It's really good seeing so many friendly faces over on YouTube. It looks like we're starting to really pick up some numbers over there. Brandon's here as well saying, hello, Colligue. Very formal of you, mate. I'll take it, but very formal of you. The user says, do you think Darby Allin was referencing CM Punk when he said best in the world? Yes. There will be news on that on YouTube over the next few days, or you can watch it on Twitch on Catch Up for our spoiler warning show. But it will be uploaded to YouTube over the next few days anyway. And Michael's just very ready for it to start. Well, we are starting. Bailey says, enjoyed the YouTube report today. The graphics were good as well. Thank you, Bailey. I'm not the greatest editor. I'm not the greatest editor, so I'm working on that, trying to make my videos a bit more visually appealing. But I don't know. I think the video did pretty well so far. And it's one of those. It should still get views going towards the draft, but we'll wait and see as to what happens there. But thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. John Cena is opening SmackDown. Hopefully BT Sport doesn't keep crashing this time. Correct, John. John Cena says, I think they're settling into a groove. Okay, enjoying John Cena's work right now. Again, a very positive reaction for John Cena, but a bit more mixed this week, I feel. John Cena is unquestionably the biggest name in wrestling on any show right now. He will definitely bring the ratings with him. Even CM Punk cannot compete. Maybe I was asking whether I have direct contact with someone in AEW or not. I do. I will not be saying any more information, but I do have some direct contact in AEW. Michael said that this rate Cena may be opening every show for the next month. I do believe that is literally the plan, yes. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And Corey says, hi, Tom. Welcome, Corey. I do believe you're currently streaming, so I won't keep you too much. But I look forward to your getting your thoughts and opinions on SmackDown. For those that don't know, I do have a few additional channels that you guys may enjoy. If I just... Firstly, I'm going to put this onto Twitch. If anyone who hasn't already followed my YouTube, it is right there. And the Discord as well for anyone who is not already joined. Then I can grab those links. Oh, missed one. And right there, a link to discord.gg/FVANQJEQ if you would like to join our Discord. The user says, what do you think about the rumors about Cena staying after SummerSlam? Cena has been booked, to my knowledge, for only one show after SummerSlam. I don't see him staying too long, but he was available, so they thought they might as well take advantage of it. Brandon laughing at the line, this doesn't sound as good as a Paul Heyman remix. Very true, though. It's very true. We are getting a recap of last week. So we got Cena's entrance. That was good. Now we've immediately got a recap of what happened last week. But that's the WWE way. The WWE way always seems to be to assume that nobody watched the week before. Also means we get to enjoy the Paul Heyman remix again. Vabev says, is the second week SmackDown isn't live in India. Hopefully they get that sorted out, mate. Hopefully get it sorted out. Will they mention the missioner line? Yes, they will. That's the moneymaker right there. Pardon me. The user says, why was Matt Cardona hated at GCW? Well, he's not Nick Gage, is he? I think that's the main reason. Moxie says, Finn versus Roman is going to be a clash of champions, which is after Reigns versus Joe versus Bobby. I don't think it's going to take that long. I think it's going to be at Extreme Rules, personally. That's what I expect. Brandon just says, anything for the remix again. And Moxie says, imagine Reigns versus Joe versus Bobby. No, I'll get too excited. Like, I'll get way too excited. J-Dub is here. Welcome, J-Dub, saying, I want to see Roman and Cena go head-to-head on the mic. Last time they did that, Cena walked circles around him. I don't think that'll be the case this time. I completely agree. Again, missionary position. John Cena making sex jokes. Wow, John Cena leaning into it. Never thought I'd see that day. But yeah, I completely agree, J-Dub. I think I'm excited for the actual promo off. I don't think this Cena can handle this Roman. I don't. Corey says, I still think we're getting Roman versus Cena at SummerSlam. Me too. Very much me too. Michael says, I'm surprised they didn't edit out the whole missionary position comment from last week. I think the fan reaction was so good, they just rolled with it. I think I see a CM Punk best in the world fist sign out there. Could be wrong. Let's see how Cena does in this promo. Baby Elf says, what is all the drama related to Jericho this week? There's always drama relating to Jericho. I tried to ignore it, so I couldn't tell you. The user says, do you think it's Survivor Series will be Reigns versus Lashley? Yes, I do. That's exactly what I think the match will be. Brandon says, Cena must be sick of Heyman. He was advocating for Brock, Punk, and now Roman. Yeah, we see a lot of him. They're very familiar. Sean, I've shared my opinion on this several times. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who may be looking forward to watching it. John, he's already beaten you. That's why I didn't reject you. Name drop for Steve Austin, trying to pop that crowd. Sasquatch Steve Houston. A Rock name drop. Cena's just trying to do anything here. And BT Sports crashed for the first time today. There'll be more. I don't know what to do with this piece of shit. It's not the PS4. It's very much the app. You have to reopen it every single time. Heretics Aqua says, no John Cena versus Roman at SummerSlam. Still the plan. Still the plan. Okay, John Cena's not going anywhere. He will have a match at SummerSlam. Give him a chance to play his story out, and I'm sure we'll see him soon. Maybe says I didn't get Keith Lee hype. This is the wrong show for Keith Lee. I'm sure once we see a bit more of him, we'll start to see why people are so behind him. Also, Black Sheep mask there. Roman Reigns doesn't have to change. This Roman Reigns is perfect. That's quite accurate. The people don't believe in Roman. A lot of watts. That's accurate. People not really supporting Cena for this. The user says, I remember hearing a bit ago that BT Sport was selling WWE of their network. That is not happening, and there are no intentions to do that. Whoever you've heard that from, they are telling you a lie. Okay, Cena playing the "You're scared of me" card. It's not the strongest card he's got. Who the hell is that? Is that Baron Corbin? Still major boos for Baron Corbin. But not as strong as they used to be. Baron Corbin, he's going to have some money, isn't he? These skits are so good. Strong you suck chance. He's really committed to the hobo beard, which is a huge part of the gimmick. You gotta have a hobo beard. John Cena versus Baron Corbin opened SummerSlam. I think it was 2018. BT Sports crashed again. I don't know what to do with this shit. So I'll be kind of watching on and off. I've got no choice. The app just keeps crashing. I did not see a Goldust sign, Brandon, but I can barely see anything because all I'm seeing is a fucking loading screen. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'm missing a Baron Corbin segment. I'm furious. Watch live. I want to watch live. Corbyn's acting is perfect. He loses an extra button every week, it seems. Full on arsehole chant. Been a while. Been a while. That's true. He got groined. Nubis here says the more Corbyn looks more and more poor, the more superstars starting to lose memories of him. Yeah, big changes needed. Megan says Corbyn versus Cena opened the main card of SummerSlam 2017. Thank you for confirming that, Megan. Knew it was SummerSlam, did not know the year. I don't understand what that was. Slight discomfort with the mention of kids. He's asking for a wish. Disagree, Chelsea. Disagree. Disagree. Welcome to the show, mate. So John Cena's just going to destroy Baron Corbin, isn't he? Well, they're definitely not chanting yes, are they? There's a few yeses. That's a strong no. Michael says, I'm loving this Corbin gimmick. Jada says, this is the best Corbin has ever been. I'm with you guys. It's all about Corbin for me. Oh, he gave him some money. Corbin's ungrateful. That film's already happened. Oh. What a cheap pop. I don't see stun double working. He just gave you some money. Ungrateful little shit. Nice of Baron Corbin there to just glance down at the pocket. Corbin throwing the same line that John Cena once said to The Rock. Is it me or did Cena really struggle to get Baron Corbin up onto his shoulders there? That reminded me of Goldberg trying to lift up Rusev. Good opening. A good first 15 minutes there. Jill says this has to be taped if John said it was out on Friday. Today is Friday. Yeah, but it's John Cena. He's probably been saying it for ages. It's not taped. It is live. Megan says, in terms of plugging a movie, AEW did a little better this week. Everyone's doing pretty good with it. I think that's pretty good. They've done some bad ones in the past. Remember the Chucky? King of Pro says, hi, comment on your video. Stable King 3. Well, welcome, Stable King 3 and King of Pro 259. Welcome. Glad to see you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate the comment as well. Every comment does make a big difference. Brandon just says Suicide Squad promo. It was good shit. It was good shit. And Michael says they need to have some kind of callback from Corbyn's failed cash-in. Fair. I don't think there's any real long-term plan between Corbyn and Cena. I think they're just spreading Corbyn out a little bit to make sure he always gets a segment, which is clever. I don't think there's anything long-term planned, but they could certainly use something. Jacob says, I love how Corbyn just stood there and took the move in character until the end. He's just so unhappy. So sad. Rey Mysterio is all set to wrestle. I'd imagine he's wrestling Jay tonight. Okay, no, he's wrestling Jimmy. Just to say, Rey Mysterio has a mask which has the word mask on it, just in case he forgets what it is. It's another teachable moment, but this time between father and son. Slightly different from Cena and Corbin. Sad look on his face while Cena hoisted him up. The facial expression is really very important in this. Great start. SmackDown's been the A show for a little while. And it's still continuing to deliver. Noob says it's not satisfying like Asuka kicking Corbin off the ladder from last year's Money in the Bank. Anything involving Asuka will always be more satisfying to you, won't it, mate? Aaron just says, poor Corbin. We're all feeling for the guy, aren't we? Which is not something I expected, but we are here now. Megan says, Cena looked like he wanted to be careful not to exert himself too much, in my opinion. Could be. I mean, there's a match planned later on between Cena and the Mysterios versus the Usos and Roman. I'd imagine he's saving some energy for that. Jill says, where do you think they're going with this hobo Corbin? I can tell you exactly where they're going. They're trying to turn him face. But Corbin's such an unlikable character that it's going to take months to turn this guy face. They just put him out there with John Cena, and they basically got a read of the situation, and they can say, fans aren't ready to cheer this guy. But I think there are championships in his future. I think there are top championships in his future. And I think there's a hell of a face push in his future as well. King of Pro says Randy Orton is said to be in Raw next week. Can you give me a source of that, King of Pro? Can you tell me why you think that? Where you read it, where it was reported, have WWE said that? Let me know what the source is to that. We'd like to source our information here if we can. Michael says maybe they'll bring back Dr. Shelby for Corbin. Oh, I hated that guy. Hated that guy. The second time round didn't work. The first time round was fantastic with Daniel Bryan and Kane. Having him work with Sasha Banks and Bayley, not the same. Bit more information there, if you will, King of Pro. Just if you could finish that off. It's from PW someone. Megan says, is it just me, or does it feel like something is missing from the Usos Mysterios feud? Honestly, I don't think they've actually put too much effort into the Usos Mysterios feud. I think the only reason they're feuding is because Roman and Rey feuded. It does feel like they're not really giving it the attention it deserves. You know? Just feel that way to me. Chelsea, same thing. If you could please source that for me so I know where that's come from. Also, if there's an inactive list, I'd be interested to know the rest of the names on that. I'll tell you that. Ugh. Not a reliable source. Not a reliable source. Remember it. If Randy Orton is at Raw this week, then you can start looking at them as potentially reliable. If he's not, remind yourself that PW Unlimited have never reported news. Never. I've come prepared today. Apologies for the belly there. I've come prepared. Instead of going downstairs for drinks, I've got them right here. All prepared. Chelsea says the Usos versus Mysterio. Mysterious. Like it. Feels like plain rice. It needs some peri peri sauce. You have rice? Plain rice with peri peri sauce? That sounds nice. Not going to lie. Throw some peppers in there or something. Moxie says Wrestling Inc. says, thank you for sourcing. Randy's due to return in 1 to 3 weeks. So essentially any time before SummerSlam. Yeah, the plan for SummerSlam is Randy Orton and Matt Riddle against AJ Styles and Omos. In order to build for that, at some point we're going to need Randy Orton. So I don't think it's a huge leap of faith for Wrestling Inc. to say, oh, he'll be back in 1 to 3 weeks. I think it's a given, personally. Look how exact that is. 1 can. Perfect. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are just introducing themselves now. I like that because it clearly means that they've been quiet previous, which is very good. Michael says that segment really capped off a disastrous 2018 for Sasha and Bayley. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Glenn Arista says, is Sasha returning? Yes, she is. Stick around for more information, but yes, she is. Brandon says, there's been a few people that have reportedly been backstage recently, but that haven't actually ended up returning. Very true, and that's something we need to be very aware of. The big name, as it were, Becky Lynch, has been backstage to a lot of shows recently. She's not been on TV. And that's the big difference. Saying that someone is backstage doesn't automatically mean that they're going to actually feature. A Buddy Murphy sighting, several Buddy Murphy sightings in the recap package here, is usually getting beat up, but it's still Buddy Murphy, and that's nice. That's nice. Jada says a fun match would be Cena and Mysterios versus Roman and the Usos. That is a dark match tonight, and it was in fact a dark match last week as well. I think we're going to see quite a lot of dark matches of that exact combination while Cena works off his ring rust. And hey, people get to celebrate. Pardon me. It wasn't a holiday, it was an unplanned absence. It was an unplanned absence. Brandon says, yeah, they did the dark match last week. Jada was bringing news. MJF's best friend's cousin says Randy Orton will be back sometime between now and SummerSlam. Huge if true. Huge. And I tell you what, MJF's best friend's cousin has never let us down before. Never let us down before. The user said, did you see Becky change her hair back to what she had? It was when she wrestled. Is that hinting she will return? She will return. She will return moderately soon. I've got several videos on YouTube about her return schedule. Check them out. And they'll give you plenty of information about exactly when we're going to see Becky. They've already been proven true. And it won't be long before those reports that I've put on YouTube are being reported by other people who definitely will not be mentioning me when they do so. Moxie says AJ attacked Riddle for the build to SummerSlam. Exactly correct. That is exactly why that build has started. That they do believe that Orton will be back in time for SummerSlam, so they will just show that in the same way. That's a lot of channel points, Moxie. I need to come up with some new ideas, don't I? Noob says, so we've got 2 matches for Raw this coming Monday. Riddle versus Omos, which will continue the feud there. And Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Cross, part 2. Are we expecting some interference from Rhea Ripley? Yes. Yeah, not guaranteed. I don't think Nikki Cross can beat Charlotte Flair clean, basically. I don't think she can beat her clean. So I think Rhea Ripley will get involved to continue to building towards a triple threat. As it's going to be a title match, I don't give Nikki Cross much chance at all of picking up a clean win unless it's one of those Rhea Ripley distracts her. Oh, it's a surprise roll-up. Oh, lovely bit of play between Jimmy and Ray. Lovely bit of play. Jermaine says, Tom, I thought that Randy Orton was just taking some time off and he should be back in time for SummerSlam for his match with Matt Riddle against AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles. That is exactly what is happening. It was an unplanned start to his time off. An unplanned start. And that's exactly what's happening. Brandon's celebrating that they just showed Buddy Murphy. They did. He got beat up a lot. Basically, the entire video is just him getting battered, which is fun. Chel says, how and where can we watch the dark match? There is a way that you can watch all WWE dark matches. You have to buy a ticket to the show. Dark matches are just when you buy tickets to the shows. Brandon is suggesting there may be footage on YouTube, which is very true, but I don't think you'll get the full thing. And I don't think it'll really be worth it. Megan says, seeing Becky with her redone hair just reminded me that I really need to get my own done. What are you thinking, Megan? What color do you go? I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but I did have a long black, like dyed black ponytail between the ages of 16 and 23. It got down to about here. Like, it was about nipple height. Yeah, nipple length. I had a ponytail all the way down here. That was an experience. I'll show you guys some pictures sometime. I'd go out to the local rock and metal club and just let it down and just rock out. That I miss. That I miss. Moxie says, just for the promo that Nikki cut last Monday, I say Rhea gets the belt. Possible. I wonder. For me, it feels like a waste of a cash-in. But I don't think Nikki Cross is going to be champion for very long. I really don't. There are concerns backstage about the perception that she's been getting from the fans. It's not considered a problem at the moment, but they're monitoring it. The user says, who do you think will win the Raw Women's Championship match at SummerSlam? I think Nikki will retain, but not keep it for very long, largely due to Rhea and Charlotte having their feud sort of on their own. A lot of guys saying the same thing about the dark match, guys. A lot of people saying the same thing. It's okay. We get it. Jill says, how was the Last of Us stream? It was great. Like, it was genuinely really fun. I laid out 15 hours for it. It's supposed to be a 15 to 18 hour game. We actually did it in 12 and a half. Turns out, if you actually use stealth, you can sneak through quite large portions of the game. Who knew? I think in total I died less than 10 times. There were some awkward and embarrassing deaths, but I think I died less than 10 times, which is pretty good for the literal whole game, you know? And also we got an average viewership of 9.8, which is absolutely incredible. My most watched gaming stream of any kind. So, Last of Us stream went absolutely brilliantly, and I should soon be starting Last of Us 2. That will not be one sitting, one playthrough. It will be likely, if I break it down, I'm thinking 4 segments. The game naturally goes into segments nicely, so I think 4 segments is the best way to do it. Brandon says you suit a pink ponytail. You also think I'd suit being bald, so fuck you. Megan says I've been red for a few years, so getting that topped up, maybe add some blonde to the end like Black Widow in Endgame. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That should be a fun one. Moxie says I see Shayna getting the belt from Nikki at Extreme Rules. Gotcha, Moxie. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like Shayna Baszler to get an opportunity. At least Queen of the Ring. Give us something. Noob says, what's going to be the status of the women's tag titles? Will Natty and Tamina hold on to them, or will they be stripped of the women's tag team titles? I don't know if Natalya's injury is long-term and serious enough to warrant stripping of the titles. Ultimately, there isn't really anyone else to have them. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax might not be featured in the division at the moment, and there aren't really any tag teams. So you might as well just leave it. You might as well just leave it. So I think that's what's going to happen. Chelsea asking a football question. Who are your top 4 title contenders for the Premier League next season? I think the signings that Manchester United have made, I have to put them first or second. I have to put them first or second. No doubt in my mind, Manchester United will be up there, if not there. Manchester City also up there. They are Man City. Liverpool, I think, will still be in and around it. I don't think they've strengthened, but they've got Van Dijk back, so they've certainly adjusted nicely. 4th place is where I struggle. I think if they keep hold of Declan Rice, West Ham have got a chance. The user says, who do you think will be the next AEW champion? I still think Hangman Page will be the next champion. I just think it's going to take a few extra months. Brandon sharing his opinion with Noob. Megan says, just did a look on Twitter if anyone is interested. The dark matches for, I guess, is this tonight? Are these the matches early, like before this show? Dark matches are Indy Hartwell versus Aaliyah and Austin Theory versus Odyssey Jones. King of Pro, if you think I've missed something, by all means, say it again. Be aware that I don't read every single comment. Just as a general rule, I don't read every single comment. Moxie says, do you see Dominic and Ray winning the SmackDown tag title belts at SummerSlam? I do not. I think the logical next step in the storyline will be the Usos retaining them, and then it moves on to the Street Profits, and it moves on to Naomi joining the Bloodline so that Bianca Belair can get involved with Naomi. Oh, one sec. They could be 4th. West Ham have got a shot, though. Chelsea haven't really gelled. They've got a lot of very expensive signings, and some of them just haven't gelled. There are questions we need to ask. Megan confirms that, yes, they were the ones before the show went live tonight. Thank you for looking them up, Megan. It suggests that Indy Hartwell might not be with the way that much longer. So we'll see what happens there. Moxie says, I wish it was Street Profits versus Usos at SummerSlam. I have no issue with a rematch between the Usos and the Mysterios. I think it's going to be a very, very good match. And I think Street Profits versus Usos will happen for a number of months. So we don't need to do it right now. You know, we don't need to do it right now. We are showing a recap of Carmella versus Bianca Belair at Rolling Loud with the heavily piped in audio. Heavily piped in audio. The user says, is Jack Grealish staying at Aston Villa? I don't think he is. I think after being so popular for England during the Euros, he's going to get the big move now. And Aston Villa can reinvest that money really smart and make themselves a mid-table club instead of a bottom-of-the-table club. That's what they need to do. Yeah, King of Pro. A lot of us have said that. That's why I didn't read it. Okay? It's just because we already have that information. That's all it is. Jermaine says, hey, Tom, do you have Sasha beating Liv Morgan in a gauntlet match to win a shot against Bianca? Or do WWF Sasha attack Bianca to get a shot at the SmackDown Women's title? The latter. Definitely the latter. I think given that Bianca Belair is now walking down to the ring, pardon me, I think what's going to happen is Sasha Banks is going to beat the ever-living shit out of her pretty much right now and demand a rematch at SummerSlam, which Bianca Belair will automatically... Yeah, she's not coming down for a match. She's coming down to say, what's next for Bianca Belair? Sasha Banks is next for Bianca Belair. I think that'll be all it is. Jill says, Declan Rice and Haaland will be coming to the champs of Europe. No. No. The answer is no. Jill says, Pat McAfee always looks like he's stressed and on edge. I get the feeling that Pat McAfee has one adrenaline gland that just won't take no for an answer. You know, he's just got that one adrenaline gland that just 100% keeps going at all times. Just, hey, do you need a little? Just, I'm just going to pick you up. So it's going to pick you up. Give a little pick me up. Just going to pick you up. You know. Megan says, well, they can't exactly have the actual audio from last week, can they? Not exactly the best look for them. No, nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit. Neem says it's going to be Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch. I would be stunned if it was Becky Lynch at this point, because then what the hell do you do with Sasha Banks? And I do think the big draw match for the women's division at SmackDown will be Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Just makes the most sense. Moxie said, Wrestling World CC, again, they do not report news, said Jay was reportedly meant to win the IC title if Jimmy didn't return. Are they reporting that? Or are they reporting that someone else reported that? That's the difficulty we have in this. Jacob says, as impressive as that entrance LED screen is, they need something else up there. They do. I liked when SmackDown had the little rectangles next to it going up. It was just something extra. Just something extra. Moxie saying, I see Sasha returning today. I expect Sasha to return today as well. And Megan says they were chanting, wanting the next act in the festival and not the wrestling. Yeah, it wasn't just that they didn't care. It's that they actively hated what was going on in front of their eyes. You know? It wasn't that they didn't enjoy the wrestling. It's that they hated the wrestling and everything possibly involved and connected with wrestling. They hated it. Brandon says, this may be an unpopular opinion, but the more I watch Bianca Belair, she kind of cringes me out as talented as she is. I really hope Sasha takes the title at SummerSlam. I think she will, but I'm not 100% certain. And honestly, I think Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are extremely similar. Like, just extremely similar in that their whole character is, I'm really good though, and you don't know. You don't know how good I am, because I'm really good. Moxie says, imagine Sasha is going to be tapping out Bianca at SummerSlam. Yep, probably. Makes sense. In the women's division, tapping out isn't seen as a big deal. It's not. Men care more about protecting themselves and passing out or never tapping out. The women don't. The women are happy to tap out for their fellow woman. Jill said, I think it's because she's trying too much to be a babyface. She should be heel. Again, that's something that was thrown against Sasha Banks for years as well. I just think they're very, very similar. He says WWE is experimenting on having wrestling outside of sports venues. They are. That was a failed experiment. I hope they learn their lesson. I really do. We're about a quarter of the way through SmackDown, approaching a third of the way through. While I have you here, if you are watching on Twitch, welcome. If you haven't followed, please do so. If you follow, what you will get is notifications whenever I go live for Spoiler Warning, which is our wrestling news show. And of course, these watch parties, all of which happen on Mondays and Fridays. Spoiler Warning is 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EST. And of course, you already know when the watch parties are because you are watching them. If you're currently watching on YouTube, please do remember to click like, the little thumbs up underneath the video. The more you do that, the more this channel gets seen and found. The more viewers I have at once, the more viewers will be able to find this channel. That helps me grow, that helps me make money, that helps me make a living. So anything you can do to help, I would very much, appreciate you just clicking that thumbs up to help me grow. Kayla Braxton is basically just flirting and saying how great Bianca Belair is. There is a weak EST chant. It's a weak EST chant. It's there, but it's weak. Megan has redeemed a 24/7 championship win. Can I still do /VIP from StreamYard? Don't think I can. I'm gonna sort you out. I think I've broken. Yeah, an error occurred. It can't do it there. Carmella is coming out in new gear, new wrestling gear. Megan is our 24/7 champion. All hail Queen 24/7. Interesting, Moxie. Definitely didn't see that myself. I have questions about what you're saying there. I think you should really think about what you're saying. Megan says it would be a good move to have Bianca and Sasha on separate shows. Let them be their own women and not in each other's shadow. Bianca Belair moving to Raw is something that I did mention in today's YouTube video, which was about 10 people I expect to see move brand in the draft. I do kind of think Bianca Belair should be the one moving, but I think we should definitely separate them. Boskar says, when Sasha returns, do you think she'll be a heel or a face? A heel. 100% heel. Brandon is saying this isn't Sasha. Yeah, Carmella is not Sasha Banks. Not at all. So at this point, we're basically getting a good look at the entire women's division. This does suggest Gauntlet match. Lukewarm reaction for Zelina Vega. I like the eye makeup. She's literally looking at you in the eye right now. What? I'm going to say it to your face. Yeah, but like closer. That's what she meant. We don't. We don't. We don't want that. You've come back and lost 3 matches. You are not a rising star. Zelina, you're fantastic. I like you. I hate your character. Everyone is more deserving than you. You are literally the bottom of the barrel. You've lost all of your matches since returning. I don't think you've won a match on the main roster. I genuinely don't think you've won a single match on the main roster. Right, Carmella and Zelina Vega are going to be a tag team. Who's going to come out and protect Bianca? This is going to be a tag team match, surely. What's Bianca's backup? Sasha? Sasha. Oh no, she's actually doing a run out to help. I'm not there for that. I'm not there for that at all. Noob says, this is my unpopular opinion. I think Asuka as a babyface is cringy and her heel turn is terrible. Needs to be serious and leave the silliness for her YouTube. And she needs to be her own woman and not in Charlotte's shadow. Right, so you're saying you don't want her to be a face and you don't like her as a heel either. Again, got questions, mate. Got questions. Why are Sasha and Bianca Belair hugging? I don't agree. Bailey just says Sasha. Well, there she is. Brandon says, literally didn't see the point in them bringing back Vega. Agreed. Looks like they've decided to try and bring Sasha back as a face. I don't think it's going to last. I definitely don't think it's going to last. But I suppose they were expecting people to cheer Sasha. So it's a good way to actually like formally do a, oh no, but I'm actually a heel on the show. That would work. They're just dancing in the ring now. They're just dancing in the ring. Surely, did you just call her Sasha? Surely this is a tag team match in the making. Oh no, they've moved on. Pat McAfee with a pencil flip. Why are you just dancing? Why is this happening? Oh, Reginald. I'm also confused. Also very confused. Brandon says Sasha looks great. She does, doesn't she always? And Bailey says she should have hit Bianca like she did when she returned in 2019 and beat down Natalya. There is still time. There is still time. Reginald will defend the 24/7 championship next on SmackDown. For those that don't know, the 24/7 championship was brought in to appease the USA Network. The USA Network, and thus Monday Night Raw, demanded a 24/7 championship in order to raise the excitement level of the shows because Raw was struggling for ratings. If the 24/7 championship is on SmackDown, USA aren't going to be happy. USA going to be mad. They're going to be so mad. Is USA mad? They're going to be so mad. So mad. Chelsea says that was defo not how that segment should have been booked. I heartily agree with you. That was not right. So what? Next week they do the tag team match. Tag team match next week can work, but then what? I don't see the longevity in it. Noob says, is this the same Vega who lost to Asuka after she found out that Becky handed Asuka the Raw Women's Championship? Like Vega's a heel, but she's losing nonstop. I don't think she's won a match on the main roster. I don't think she's won one. Admittedly, she's been on the main roster a long time and not wrestled, but I don't think she's won a single match. Brandon says, I wonder who his mystery opponent for the 24/7 title is. Cough, cough. R-Truth. It's Becky Lynch, though. It's totally Becky Lynch. It's going to be Tamina, isn't it? It's going to be Tamina. Yeah, Moxley, I very much expect that exact scenario. Very much expect that to happen. It's just sometimes it's smart to bring someone back looking like a face if you already know that the fans are going to cheer them anyway. There's no point fighting it. Instead, get the fans cheering and then you do the heel turn. That way you kind of turn on the fans as well. Chelsea says it's a perfect time to make Bianca heel while they're all cheering Sasha. Michael feeling the same way. Bianca doesn't turn, does she? I don't see it. I don't see it, mostly due to her affiliation with the Street Profits. But it's not a guarantee. Who knows? Brandon says, R-Truth dresses Becky with her entrance and everything. Can you imagine if that music hit and R-Truth came out? He'd be the biggest heel since Paul Heyman walked out to the CM Punk theme. Oh, we do have something. Megan pulling out the stats. Says the last time Zelina won a match was in September 2020 when she beat Mickie James in just under 5 minutes. Since 2017, she's only had 8 wins out of 78 matches. "78 matches, 8 wins." Why the fuck did she come back? Like, genuinely, why the hell would anyone return to that? Ugh. Bayley celebrating these stats. The great stat queen. Irreplaceable in this here chat. Absolutely irreplaceable. Michael says, I figure if Sasha is the heel, Bianca would win at SummerSlam, but I could be wrong. I don't see Bianca retaining. So this is our WWE announcer contest. Oh, I know him. I follow him on TikTok. I mean, some of this is quite good. Wow. And that's how they advertise their TikTok. Their TikTok, which keeps them ahead of AEW. Jermaine says, I think the tag match happens later during the 9 p.m. draw hour. It's possible. That's when we get the big swerve, the big Sasha telling Bianca demands her rematch. It was telling. I see you've been watching quite a few of these shows. It is quite telling that Sasha Banks and or Bianca Belair were not the draw segment. They've always been the draw segment since the Royal Rumble. Since January, one or both of Banks and Belair have been in the draw segment. If it's not this week, it must be Edge and Seth Rollins. Noob says, Vega is a great... It's very well played. Brandon says her husband gets AEW and she gets the same old crap with WWE. She made the choice. She made the choice. So Reginald has no idea who his opponent is. Is this his first? I think this is his first solo promo. Did a runner just run past in Gorilla? Moxie says Sasha is 95% winning. It's not incorrect. Megan says, correction, my bad, it's only 76 matches. Still a lot. Still a lot. Moxie, I know you've got the game. You have told me. I'll play when I want to play. Welcome, Ed, to the show. And he's asking, what about Vega in ring is great? So, general question for the chat. I like the lucha style that she can do, but she doesn't really do in WWE. I haven't seen it in WWE. My stream on Twitch seems to have crashed entirely. Not sure what's going on there. Like I say, I like the lucha style that she has and can exhibit. She, for some reason, hasn't really done it in WWE, but she does have it available to her. Other people might think otherwise. We're apparently back. We had a 2-minute blip. That's just on Twitch. Anyone on YouTube should have seen no problem whatsoever. And it looks like quite a few people jumped over to YouTube anyway. Devon Peer, welcome. Says, much as I love heel Sasha, I think Bianca should turn. I worry about the effect that would have on the Street Profits. But maybe they could end their affiliation, at least for now. Not as in get a divorce. I mean, like, actually end their professional affiliation. Chelsea says that guy from the crew is getting fired. He won't get fired. You know, runners happen. Who have we got? Chad Gable. Oh, and Otis. Right, so Otis is going to take it. Makes sense. Makes sense. Moxie was excited by the idea that maybe it would be The Fiend. I don't think it was ever going to be The Fiend. I can't see The Fiend going after the 24/7 championship, but, you know. And Ed says, oh, God. Otis versus Reggie. Indeed, that is exactly what we have. Apologies for the small problem that we seem to have over on Twitch there. I'm not sure what that was. It briefly shut down my stream, but now we're back again. Just as we start to approach our second hour draw segment. I would imagine this match is only going to last 3, maybe 5 minutes. Chelsea says, how did WWE decide who wins the announcer contest? They have a little panel of judges. Essentially, it comes down to Vince, though, as all things do. Michael says, did crash for a brief second. Yeah, I did spot it. StreamYard isn't being the most friendly at the moment. It's just today. Usually it's very reliable. I don't know as to the stream quality. I know that we had a pretty significantly positive stream quality earlier today. Hopefully, we've got the same right now, because I did try and set up my camera a bit different and the audio and the like. We'll see if it's actually paid off, but I think I look a bit better. Moxie says maybe the Street Profits cost Otis. I don't see that personally. Oh, so it is Chad Gable. Honestly, I think they just take the championship. Or maybe Nia Jax comes down to slam Otis and thus protect Reggie. Stranger things have happened. Jada says, I'm going to set up a GoFundMe for Otis to grow his beard back. I kind of love it. I kind of love it. What the hell? My Twitch is having genuine issues right now. Megan says, I know Otis is meant to look moody and fierce, but he just looks kind of sad to me. Also wish he would grow the beard back. Yeah. I get evolving and changing the characters, but that was drastic. Chelsea rightly pointed out, Reggie always fights in a suit. He does. He's a man of style. I also think it's very impressive that in a suit, admittedly stretchy pants, but in a suit, the man can do all the flipping that he does. It's been a while since we've seen the 24/7 championship. 1, this regularly. 2, defended in actual matches. And 3, defended in actual matches this regularly. A lot going on. The landing on his feet, not quite perfect there, but still very impressive. Chelsea thinks a live Reginald match would be great. Otis has just brought about a DQ in a 24/7 championship match. And Reginald's running away. Reginald is running away. Yes, Reginald was actually wrestling, but I don't think he actually hit any wrestling moves. The 24/7 championship can be retained via DQ. That ain't right. The user says, I'm not watching live tonight. I'm so annoyed I missed Sasha's return. I'm going to be honest with you, mate. You didn't miss much. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't good. Adam Pearce is backstage. Tonight's main event will be tag team. Right, okay. The main event will be Sasha and Bianca Belair versus Carmella and Zelina Vega. Sasha is reminding everyone that she's the bad guy by the main event then. Our draw segment will be Roman Reigns and Finn Balor. So yeah, that makes sense to me. That's why Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are not in the draw segment. They're in the main event. Instead, we get an early dose of Roman. I'm there for that. Jill says, can't wait to see Reggie at the Raw. Oh, that's a good call. Sorry, wait, what? No. Fuck's sake. Did they just say that after losing a championship contenders match to Charlotte last week, Nikki Cross is only having another championship contenders match? What the fuck is the point of winning a championship contenders match if you don't even get a shot at the championship? Fuck's sake. I got very excited by that idea, though, Chelsea. Jacob says, I swear to God, I missed Sasha's return. I'm sitting here watching. How did I miss it? It was brief. The pop was big, but it wasn't huge. And then they just sort of did a lot of dancing. It wasn't good. Devin says Sasha can bring anyone into the main event. Yeah, but first she has to bring herself. And Bayley says Raw booking is bizarre. Yeah, it's fucking shit, basically. It's fucking shit. Yes, Brandon, we are getting the contract signing next because our main event's going to be Sasha Banks. So our draw segment will be Roman and Finn Balor. If you look at the rest of the show, we've got Roman and Finn Balor. We've got Edge and Seth Rollins. We've got the main event tag team match. We're in a pretty good spot. We also have the Intercontinental title division to be sort of continue to build. To like continue to build. So I'd imagine we're going to see Apollo Crews, Cesaro, Nakamura, all of those sooner rather than later. Kevin Owens. There's a lot of people who are still waiting to see. The user says, is Sasha a face now? Technically, right now, she's nothing. By the end of the night, we'll see what she definitely is. Chelsea says, Raw writers have been hanging out with Matt Riddle too long. I think essentially what happens is Matt Riddle is walking around, he's wrestling matches, and after wrestling matches, he's sweating so much that people get high just by being in his vicinity. Like it says, Raw as a whole is bizarre. Yeah, you're not wrong. Brandon is suggesting that Sasha is definitely turning on Bianca with the tag match being main event. I definitely think that's the most likely scenario. Yes. And Megan says Roman and Finn equals happy me. So it's a wonderful thing to have there and available, isn't it? Noob says no DQ championship contenders match. Going to be bad. So we're going to expect madness this coming Monday. No holds barred means that Rhea Ripley can get as involved as she wants. And I don't think... If it was a championship match, I could have seen Nikki Cross finding a way to win. But it's not a championship match. So she's probably losing again. She's probably going to lose to Charlotte 3 weeks in a row and then somehow pin Charlotte in the actual triple threat match because Rhea Ripley does all the work. It's undermining your champion. Typical WWE. Moxley says, watch Goldberg do the Hurt Lock to someone on Monday. Goldberg will not be wrestling on Monday. He will only be gurning at the camera a little bit, if he's even there. Devin says, who are your faves from each division? Ooh, okay. So I'm a big fan of Roman. Always have been. Always have. I think I missed a lot of the early Roman rise, like the early one. I missed a lot of that. So Roman has always been a big favorite. Just looking on SmackDown, I'm a Finn Balor fan. I'm Irish. Also a Becky Lynch fan because of the Irish as well. So they're definitely some of my favorites. J-Dub says something shitty is missing. It's Jackson Riker. That's why I like Fridays. He's not here. He also wasn't there on Monday. He wasn't there on Monday. Kura says Bray Wyatt's looking slim. Bray Wyatt's looking buff. And I respect that. Finn Balor gets his entrance. Sonya Deville seemingly very excited by this. Hopefully he does the thing. And I hope everyone at home is going to do the thing. It's the rules. It's the law. I'm prepping myself. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do the thing. So I need you guys to do the thing with me. We all need to do the thing. Because when Finn Balor's music hits, you know the rules. You have to go like that, don't you? Just like full on. Just full on sardonic grace. All of that jazz. Just really rock out a little bit. Because why the hell not? Now, it doesn't work the same for me. Obviously, you know, I've been working out a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more buff. Like you can see shape there. But if I do the Finn Balor thing, just do that. It doesn't look quite the same, does it? Doesn't look quite the same. Bailey says, when I see these odd Nikki contender match setups, it suggests that WWE is looking for a way to take the title off her soon, but still don't know when. I did mention that earlier on for spoiler warning. Might be something you want to check out for more news on that one. Brandon says, to be fair, Riddle and Lashley have been carrying Raw lately. Really, a lot of carrying. Yeah. Michael says Charlotte has to win, right? Probably. I don't like it, but probably. And Ed has started using his channel points. He started with a "What does The Rock say?" as regards why is a dude doing the Y from YMCA. Can't believe you're making me do this. Can't believe it. You know when The Rock turns on The Rock's show, he turns on SmackDown. He wants to see his cousin. He wants to see Roman Reigns. Head of the family? Pff, The Rock's the head of this family. You know who's going up against Roman Reigns? This little Irish guy. This little leprechaun. Dancing around. Apparently for everyone, rainbow flags. The Rock doesn't give a crap. The Rock sees this guy walking down to the ring, arms in the air, comes down with a painted face. You know what The Rock used to do? He used to beat the crap out of people on a regular basis. He used to whoop some candy asses. And this guy's just walking down just with abs. And when The Rock was there, people actually got beat up. The Rock got a bit excited there, didn't he? Ed has also redeemed a pirate theme. A hat. A sword. And a hijack. Kuro Neko Karito has hijacked for Vince McMahon as a favorite wrestler. So 60 seconds starting now dedicated to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's wrestling career was very short-lived when you actually stack the matches back to back. But when you consider the amount of matches he has had, it's actually a very well thought out career. There's a lot of variation, and my God, does that man know how to bleed. He's also a Royal Rumble winner. A lot of people forget that. But Vince McMahon has the dubious distinction of being a Royal Rumble winner. He also main evented the pay-per-view the next month, a St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And I don't think anyone has ever faced Stone Cold Steve Austin that many times and come away with that many wins. Vince McMahon is a legend. I will always remember him flying off the cage. Thank you, Ed, reminding me, ECW champion, when he was trying to get Bobby Lashley over. You remember Bobby Lashley? I wonder what ever happened to that guy. My favorite Vince McMahon moment, I know a lot of people say the bedpan, and I get that. But for me, it's the video montages he made with Shane when he was in training for the Royal Rumble. And he's just chasing that chicken. And you can just hear Shane saying, catch the chicken, catch the chicken, catch the chicken. It is the dumbest shit you will ever see in your whole damn life. Also using channel points is Michael Latina, who has claimed a VIP, and that means I have to un-VIP our Megan Sittin, our Stat Queen, put a W in her name somehow. Championship be gone. Megan has immediately reclaimed, Michael, you might have to do a little better than that. You might have to come up with something a little more to take this one away from Megan. She's ready to fight for it. 2 quick roll-ups, 2 quick changes. Everything going nuts. Everything going crazy. What can we do? Megan's had it stolen from her as well. So that's an un-VIP for Megan and a re-VIP for Kuro Neko Karito. Oop, I didn't type VIP right. Kuro Neko Karito. With a forklift, apparently. I mean, you by all means, you decide how you cash in, but a forklift? A forklift. Brian says, hope we see Nakamura tonight. I don't see any reason why we won't. There's plenty of slots and time available. Jadab says, as regards Roman, the entrance takes so long. It does. He postures more than anyone else. Paul Heyman moving the chair to the head of the table. Standard. Jill says, imagine thinking this will be a nice, smooth contract signing with no discretions or beef. I'm waiting for Cena. Waiting for Cena. Wow. Brandon says, Roman has been champ for 333 days currently now. Nearly the full year. Very nearly. We're on the way. Jada says, if he takes any longer getting down there, he'll be cutting into the main event. Very true, very true. And Megan says, I just want to enjoy Roman, Finn, and Sonya on my screen in place, you heathens. Mentioning Sonya as well is a very fair comment. I mean, have you seen what she's wearing? It's gorgeous. She knows how to accessorize as well, you know? That woman has so much style. Bailey says, if WWE could bring back one performer, who would you want to see return? If they could bring back just one, probably right now it'd be Steve Austin, to be honest. It'd just be fun. Austin in his prime, he could really fit in right now. Mr. Missionary, that's what you're going with. A Cena chant broke out during the contract signing. Roman's trying to shut that down. There's a healthy respect going on between Roman and Balor right now. I like that Paul Heyman is holding the championship just to make sure that Finn can see it. Noob has redeemed a telling off for Vince McMahon. Well played, Roman. So, we are telling off Vince McMahon for his misuse of Zelina Vega. Vince is in the chat, if you please. Vince, I know you're watching. You don't watch AEW, but you watch me. Sometimes you don't even watch Raw or NXT, but you're watching me. And you know what? We're confused. Zelina Vega may be main eventing this week, but she's not winning. We know she's not winning because she doesn't win. She loses. She loses again and again and again. She's looking ridiculous, especially coming down and saying, I deserve a championship match. What the hell? Clearly, she's not paying attention. Clearly not. So, when it comes to Zelina Vega, you have to use her right. You have to use her well. You have to find some storylines. You have to find out where the hell Liv Morgan's gone. You can do better than this. Bad Vince. We have another new 24/7 champion, very much quickly making an appearance. Welcome, Wiggly. How the devil are you? I did see that you're sending me messages, but I'm streaming, so I've got to be honest, I have not been reading them. They've converted a Cena chant to a Roman sucks chant. Very clever. It looks like they're signing it. It really does. Brandon has a good laugh at Mr. Missionary. Jacob says, Finn should say they should add Cena to the match. I don't see that happening. I think Balor wants it a bit too much. Brandon says, Roman trying to stir things. That is his way. Michael, throw some Vinces. Kuro throws a Vince in the chat. Contract has not been signed. I think Baron Corbin's just made a lot of money. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, wait. Corbin. Oh, no, here's Cena. Here's Cena. Right. Okay, well, goodbye, Balor, then. The contract did not get signed. I like that, Kuro. You're an inventive guy. Megan says, if Roman versus Finn does go ahead, it'll be the first time they face each other on TV since August 2018. That was for the Universal title as well. Yeah, well, that didn't work out, did it? Finn Balor was used as a distraction. Willie thought Finn was going to stand on Cena's behalf. There was no logical reason for that I could see. Noob says, of course, Roman Reigns pretty much like the missionary position. Hope they won't censor it again. They didn't. They've really been playing up to it. Roman Reigns' furious face is on full display. Brent says, the Roman sucks chant is not something I thought I would hear, and yet here we are. People very well trained. Contract got signed. Roman and Cena will be the main event of SummerSlam. Finn Balor will not be involved. Bailey pointing out that Roman never moved. He just sat there. Roman is confused and not amused by Corbin. Sounds about right. I think everyone was about right. People were popping for Corbin signing it. People were popping for it. Cena got there in time, though. What's happening now? A contract signing, which ended up resulting in John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. How many people at the beginning of this show and during spoiler warning told me that it was going to be Balor versus Roman? And how many times did I say the plan is Cena versus Roman? Trust the process. Sometimes you got to wait and let it happen, guys. Corey said, call that Roman versus John Cena at SummerSlam. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I'm calling it. You're right. Michael says it would really make no sense for Cena to come back to being a triple threat. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. It was always going to be Cena versus Roman. Corey says that's the best way to do a contract signing. Pure opportunism. Pure opportunism. And Megan says, Cena and Corbin ruining my fun. The heathens. Didn't even get a proper look at Sonya Deville, did you? I wonder how Finn Balor's going to react. I wonder how he's going to react. Jacob says, MJF's best friend's cousin says, Corbin versus Balor at SummerSlam guaranteed. I mean, logically, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I don't know what it is about MJF's best friend's cousin, but they know. You know, they know. Brandon says, if Roman didn't really want to face Cena, then why would he just sit there? Because he's Roman Reigns. He doesn't fight for free. Yeah. Megan says, also, I'm sorry, everyone in that segment had a working pen. Nope, totally unrealistic. Everyone was prepared. Corbin had a pen with him. I'm guessing he was waiting for his opportunity. Cena had a Sharpie. It was not good, but in a good way, you know? You get what I mean? The user says, Tom, I didn't know you went to WrestleMania 37. I did not, which may be why I didn't know that. I wasn't there. Newbie suggesting Corbin should be doing janitor duty backstage instead of being in a match. To be fair, a Universal Championship match would probably give him a lot of money. Welcome, Dean. Glad to see you. The user says, what match will Sasha be in tonight? The main event, which will be a tag team match. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair versus Carmella and Zelina Vega. Might be Zelina Vega's best chance of picking up a win. Like, genuinely. She's been, like, awful. So, hopefully, this will actually set her back on the right track. Bailey says, no way they can keep it up, of course. But imagine the pop if Corbin made it into the final two at the Rumble and lost. To be fair, that's actually very likely. Baron Corbin is the perfect runner-up. They like to have someone as the runner-up who fans automatically hate. You've got it, Wiggly. You've got the diamond on your name. Stop complaining. BT Sport just crashed, but as it's only the third time in an hour, I'm willing to give it that. Shouldn't have said anything, Wiggly. That's on you. But yeah, they like to have someone who is easy to boo. So Roman Reigns, for example, has been a Royal Rumble runner-up several times because it guarantees whoever eliminates him gets a really big pop. Like a really big pop. Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura have both won Royal Rumbles on the back of eliminating Roman Reigns. Curry says Cena always has a Sharpie in his pocket. Always. To be fair, earlier, all he had in there was cash. All he had in there was cash. We have a new 24/7 champion. It is Megan sitting, reclaiming the gold from Professor Wiggly Tuff, who now has to suffer the indignity of losing that or not. or not, because Wiggly has already spent his well-earned cash and claimed it back. Un-VIP, Megan sits him. Paul Heyman is asking for Adam Pearce to do something about SummerSlam. I do think there's a number one contendership match coming. Jada says, random note. The Eli Drake and Trevor Lee skits from NXT have been gold lately. Never liked Grimes until this started. Fair enough. Grimes has found his rhythm in NXT a lot better. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville confirm Roman Reigns versus John Cena, main event of SummerSlam. The user says, when do you think the tribal chief family will split? I think they've got another year yet, to be completely honest. At least another year. Jadov says, Deville is money and shouts it from the rooftops. D. Freeman welcomes the show, says, guess they found a way for Finn to get put on hold. They did. It's not good for Finn. He essentially distracted us for like a week. And that was it. Wiggly, if you stay tuned to my YouTube video, I'll be uploading plenty of information on that. Everything I know so far is already on spoiler warning, which you can, of course, watch on catch up. So all the information is on that. Wiggly says, I miss Asuka. You're not going to see her on this show. You're also not going to see her on Raw for a while, unfortunately. Corey says, Paul Heyman is scared. He is. That's absolutely correct. Corey says, nah, Tom just didn't want to embarrass Corbin with too much value, so he hit the Sharpie. Fair enough. Oh, Wiggles getting his little heartbroken. And Kuro says, Sharpies are expensive. We have 6-man tag team action, which is basically setting up our Intercontinental Championship division. We have Big E, Cesaro, and Nakamura taking on what I imagine will be Apollo Crews, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode, a match that Corey is very familiar with because he was in the arena last week and got to see it. We didn't get to see it last week because we were watching Rolling Live, and now we get to see this instead. Cesaro and Nakamura are teaming together again. It's been a while. The user says they could have Finn win the Universal Championship back as he never lost it. They could. They're not going to now. What happened to Asuka? She's just not really doing anything right now. She hasn't got a story is the issue. Because says, saw a girl in Leicester Square who looked like Asuka had her hair. All I wanted to go up and talk to her about like a true really tough. I was too shy. Yeah, that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, mate. When it comes to meeting people, there's usually a predefined situation in which you're allowed to do it. Brandon is just shouting the word Shinsuke. Fair. Yep, as I just said, Corey, same thing. This is indeed a rematch, but for us who were not at the arena last week, it is a brand new match. Pat McAfee is trying to lead the crowd through a rendition of Nakamura's theme. Nothing but respect for it. D. Freeman, no, definitely not. Megan says, so we're getting to see the match from last week. This week, fine by me. These guys are great. Yeah, that's exactly it. And to be honest, we haven't seen it, and it should be good. They're trying to set up the Intercontinental Championship division. These 6 people will all be involved in it, and that's good. That's a big positive. We do need that. We do need a rebuilt Intercontinental Championship division. But it's taken so long for everyone to make their entrances that we're already on another commercial break. I do think we'll only have this match in the main event now, because after this we'll have Seth and Edge having some sort of storyline. Then we'll build in for the main event. Noob says we're finally getting Cena and Roman. Yes, for a second time. Yep, they just didn't show it live. Noob, at the moment, Asuka is not taking time off. She's on creative hiatus. They just don't have a plan for her. She's expected to be involved in the draft. Kura says, Pat, that's a chair, sit down. That's not really his thing when Nakamura's there. And Brandon says, Pat's moves are just a vibe. Deep Freeman is celebrating the fact that they are still singing Nakamura's theme. Hopefully right now during the break, they are doing it still. Fingers crossed. Megan says, I'm hoping for Seth versus Finn at some point. You and me both. That is a feud that will never disappoint because those two always had incredible matches. Incredible. You saw a dog on SmackDown? You saw a dog on SmackDown, Wiggly? I'm very confused. Boys Carl says, when do you think Big E will cash in and who is it on? I think it will be on Bobby Lashley after he is moved over in the draft, and I think it will be after Survivor Series. You will note that I said think every single time there. Megan says, Pat is how everyone wants to behave when they don't care about being cool. To be fair, I kind of do that, and I am uncool, and I know it. Michael says, do you think Finn versus Corbin happens at SummerSlam? Possibly. Possibly Finn could beat up Corbin, but I don't know. At the moment, I really don't know. Cora says, Pat is a fan first and employee second. I don't believe that's true even for a second, but you keep thinking that. You keep thinking that. In London, okay. Willie says, Goldberg will win the title, then just drop it. That will not happen. Moxie says, a repeat of 2018. When Roman won? Yeah, absolutely. J-Dub, that is in no way the last time they fought. That is in no way the last time they fought. That's the first time they fought. They have fought many times since then and had fantastic matches that are definitely worth checking out. Wiggly, I know you want Goldberg to win. He's not going to. I'm making that clear. He's not going to. You just get used to the idea. Not happening. Noob says, the one thing I like about Pat McAfee is he's hyped every week when Nakamura and Boogs comes in. He's very consistent, and that's a huge positive. They've made a new render for Big E where he's got the briefcase, and that is the creepiest fucker I've ever seen in my life. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. But yeah, he's very consistent. It's a lot like Corey Graves talking about Mandy Rose as the golden goddess. Sometimes it can really help someone get over. Megan says, Finn versus Corbin could be the Prince versus the Pauper, and now I want it. Of course you do. We have seen it before. It ended up being Corbin beat Balor, Corbin beat Balor, Corbin beat Balor, and then the Demon King beat Corbin, and we all just moved on with our lives. I believe that was SummerSlam 2019. Yeah, City aren't winning the Champions League either. I don't think they're winning the league next year either. United are looking really good. What would I do if Goldberg won? Be very, very disappointed in the WWE and wonder when we're next going to see the championship, because Goldberg is only set for 2 matches per year, and this would be his second one. So we probably wouldn't see the match until 2022. Be a massive waste of time, basically. If you are watching on YouTube, please do remember that you can click that like button. That's a big help to me and my personal growth, and I would very much appreciate it if you could do that to help me find some new subscribers and keep these shows running. I don't think you're getting Haaland or Kane. I do think you're getting Grealish. I don't think you're getting Kane. Daniel Levy would literally just hold him to his entire contract rather than let him go. Michael says Goldberg could defend in Saudi versus Taker. He's not. I've been very consistent on this. Daniel Levy does not intend to sell him. He just has no plans of selling him. We're already at the part with all the finisher spam. Except Nakamura, who says he's Kinshasa. Suggests he might be the one winning the match. Lovely German suplex from Apollo Crews. Wiggly, you're assuming Haaland's going anywhere. You're making a lot of assumptions. Now, don't get me wrong. These things could happen. I just And don't for a moment imagine that they will. Commander Aziz has got hold of Boogs' guitar. Oh! Boogs was not quite ready for that. Pat McAfee spilled his drink. That was so delicate picking it up. Why are you sorry, Moxie? Oh. You don't see his Demon King facing Roman. Neither do I. I don't see why you're sorry about that. Nakamura did get the pin via Kinshasa and should definitely get an Intercontinental Championship shot there. Megan says 2019 was Balor versus The Fiend. Balor versus Corbin was SummerSlam 2018. Stemmed from Finn eliminating Corbin from the 2018 Rumble in like 2 minutes. Gotcha. Thank you for keeping me up to date with that. I'm not aware of you spamming, Moxie. I'm genuinely not. It was a very smooth zigzag counter, as Brandon says. There was some nice little tag team moves there. Some guys who are really getting to know each other. Or not. Is Haaland not a Borussia Dortmund? That's a pretty good club that can potentially be winning Champions Leagues. Has as good a chance as Manchester City does. I agree with Boys Card. Goldberg should never be champion again. Completely agree. It is our Edge Seth Rollins segment next. We'll see what ridiculous outfit Seth wears this time. Jermaine Presley says, I know Big E is going to Raw and he's going to cash in on Bobby Lashley, but can you imagine Cesaro doing this Cesaro swing and the sharpshooter on Bobby Lashley for the title? It'd be really cool. I don't see it happening, but it would be really cool. The WWE do not have faith in Cesaro. They gave him a Universal Championship match to make him sign a new contract. Now they're going to stick him right back down into the mid-card again. And they have. That's all they did. City are going to flop this season. Spurs flopped last season. Megan agrees. Goldberg should never, ever, 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 ever be champion again. Ever. Wiggly, Kane and Haaland are going to United. I'm literally just saying that to piss you off at this point. You're obsessive. You need to take a breath, mate. You're not getting Kane and Haaland. Also, they definitely aren't playing together, so why would you buy them both? If you spend 100 million on Jack Grealish and then 200 million on Kane, you're probably not getting in Europe anyway. You're probably getting banned again. This time it might stick, but you'll probably just give them a bribe again. I don't support City because they literally bribe the authorities. Okay? I want you to fail. I want you to know that your club, I would like it to fail. Okay? You literally bribe your way into Europe. I don't support City. You do need a striker. You probably shouldn't waste time with Kane or Haaland and get someone you can actually get. Moxie wants to extend SmackDown. Moxie wants to extend SmackDown. Quick, everybody. Everybody, remind him of Raw. Moxie, mate, the third hour of Raw literally kills it. Let's not tempt fate. I know SmackDown's good at 2 hours, but let's not extend it. It did J-Dub, but Wiggly's good for it. It's good old football talk. Also, yeah, I am being very serious. That is literally what happens. But yeah, we get it. Brandon says, do you think Edge will get one last world title run? I think he will. I don't think he should. I think he should be putting people over now. But at the same time, you've got to give him a couple of wins to keep him strong so that when he puts someone over, it means something. Putting over Roman was good at WrestleMania. He'll now get the win over Seth. Who he puts over next is a big question. If, for example, he goes on against Finn Balor next and loses to Finn Balor, that's a pretty good position to be in. and it means something. Jada says no, extending SmackDown. Michael says no, never extend SmackDown. Jada was saying 2 hours is the most we can all stand. Pardon me. And Michael says NXT should go back to 1 hour. They have too many people now. Too many people. Pardon me, guys. I'm a bit gassy. Bit gassy. Had some pork scratchings before I came on. They're repeating on me a little bit. Megan says Edge versus Finn. Yes, please. Yes, please. Wiggly is still here, mate. Although he has just lost his championship. She saw you say that. And someone got ideas. Someone got ideas. So I have to take the championship away from Professor Wigglytuff PhD. It's a hell of a name. And give it to our new champion, Megan Sittin. Took the opportunity while Wiggly was reeling from that Man City talk to claim the championship. Reeling. You don't know how to handle it. Oh, Seth, what the fuck are you wearing? Ugh. God, what is going on with your tie? Nicely done by Seth. Nicely done. Corey saying SmackDown should be 3 hours. Disagree. Moxie says Edge is never becoming the Universal Belt. Well, no. In order to become a belt, you have to go through a whole plastic surgery thing. It's really awkward and expensive. He might win the WWE World title, though. The standard WWE title. Because there's no World Heavyweight title. Megan has already had the championship stolen away. One quick roll-up, and it is all over. A VIP for Supercard OG YT. A new champion all over again. Going crazy. Going crazy. Did this all happen during the commercial break? Or did I just miss it? I didn't make the rules, Megan. I didn't design the 24/7 championship. It just happens. Right, so that did happen during the commercial break. Ugh. That's awful. Seth is just losing his shit in the middle of the ring. We got footage. Seth, God, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? So this is basically just a recap montage. Hopefully at this point he's just going to get more and more furious with management, because I think Seth versus management, it plays. Supercard's reign is short and sweet because Megan is back reclaiming that championship. Megan is our VIP and our champion once again. Lots of back and forth on the championship today. May have to increase the cost to keep it competitive. Keep it competitive. Here's a long ass recap. Like, I know all this. I watched SmackDown. I watched Money in the Bank as well. We know that Seth was needed twice to actually put Edge down. For those who don't know, I am a pirate. Yar. I think I got my point across there. Corey says, I have Edge winning at SummerSlam. I also have Edge winning at SummerSlam. I think Seth is taking the loss here to keep Edge strong for future matches. Seth, I think, is going to Raw. I think he's been really good on SmackDown, but he's not been top level. We want... They want someone. Becky. We are now getting We Want Becky chance to Seth Rollins. Yeah, Seth's going to struggle to get rid of those We Want Becky chants. This, by the way, is why I don't think we're going to see AJ Lee back ever again. She would get CM Punk chants. Our next match for the last 20 or so minutes of SmackDown will be Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair versus Carmella and Zelina Vega. And can I just point out, it's Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, not Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Bianca Belair is a champion. She should get top billing. With Nikki ASH. Why are they chat? Oh, I'm getting wound up. Goldberg is back. He's going to turn up for work. What a strange concept. What a strange concept. Oh, thank you, Corey, for hosting. Much obliged. I'm not sure about hosting on YouTube. I don't know if that's necessarily a thing, but got a few more likes there, and that's a very, very good thing. Slowly but surely, guys. Slowly but surely. We are currently trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We are slowly but surely getting there. We gain about 40 subscribers per month at the moment, which is a pretty solid increase and really enjoyable to produce a show that works in that regard. So every little helps. Every like can make a big difference. Every viewer obviously naturally makes a big difference. We're currently sitting at 631 subscribers. We're very close to 2/3 of the way there. We did release a video today at 6 p.m., so roughly 8.5 hours ago. That video was 10 WWE wrestlers who will change brand in the WWE Draft 2021. It's a 13-minute video, one of my longer ones, and I advise you all to check it out as soon as you can. What did we get? What did we get? What did we get? Moxie said, I think Sasha turns on Bianca after the match. I think that's the popular opinion. That seems the most likely scenario. Megan says Seth's suit was something. I love the red shirt and tie, though. I want my own now. The tie, he needs to sort out because that was all over the place. That was all over the place. This shirt was gorgeous. I have a nice red shirt as well. It's my good-looking shirt. I suit crimson and I suit a slimline. So a slimline crimson shirt I am born for. That from Seth, that works for me. Brandon says, Edge got the crowd popped, did his job, then got put out for a good few bob. For those who don't know, good few bob basically means he just got paid a lot for that, which is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I know there's only 20 minutes of SmackDown left, but it's like 20 to 3 in the morning. I've worked a full week. I'm a tired boy. Ugh. Moxie says, I don't like the almost superior gimmick. You are not alone. Okay, we've got a lot of messages from Lauren. I'm going to fly through them. Firstly, hello, Lauren. Welcome to the show. Says, SmackDown is fire tonight. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Nice hat. I'm in pirate theme over on Twitch. That's Ed's fault. Saying best SmackDown of 2021. Don't agree there, but still very, very good. Excited for Cena versus Roman. Excited for Sasha and Bianca. Excited for Edge and Seth. Just very excited, Lauren. You're so excited. Moxie says, I proved that I can almost be Charlotte. That didn't even get a pop. Yeah, it was not a good promo. Why is SmackDown better than Raw? Better people, better writing, shorter, basically. Banger says, I like that Edge doesn't even try to hide how happy he is to be in front of crowds again. He gets hype. Like, he goes for it. And I like that. Laura says, Punk and Bryan at AEW bound? Maybe. Thank you. Conrad, welcome to the show, mate. Welcome to the show. How are you? What's your schedule for SummerSlam when it comes to your shows? If you'd like to promote a little bit, by all means do so. Welcome to the show. You're going to Raw on the 9th. You should go to SmackDown on the 6th. You definitely should. I would always choose SmackDown over Raw, personally. The WWE have confirmed Roman Reigns versus John Cena at SummerSlam. And in fact, next week on SmackDown, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. And oh my God, he's basically crying in that picture. He's basically crying. That is the saddest image of Baron Corbin I've ever seen in my life. That is amazing. Conrad says, Fox paid more money too. More bang for the buck. Very true. Very true. Fox did pay a lot more money. Carmella and Zelina Vega didn't get to do an entrance. They got the job as entrance. Bit shit for them. Lauren says, do you think Roman will get a DQ in his Cena match? No, I think he'll beat Cena clean. Chelsea says, Tom, are you more confident that CM Punk is joining AEW now? Yes, I am, but I will still believe it when I see it. Everything I've been told is that nothing has been signed yet. Considering how they're pushing it, they need to sign it, and they need to sign it fast. I don't trust CM Punk. That's what I'm saying. SummerSlam schedule is up in the air. I think I can review, but not sure about NXT. Right, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, welcome to the show, Conrad. What are you making of SmackDown so far? Are you enjoying it? Lauren is saying Sasha will be a heel before the night ends. I think that's sort of telegraphed. I think we all agree on that one. Cena's penmanship, C-. And that is indeed how he started it, with C. And an E. And then I had a moment of like, okay, you need to make the next two letters smaller because you're gonna run out of room. Lauren says, I'm so glad Sasha is back, though. We missed her. We did. It's not like there's a lack of star power on SmackDown, but she does add a lot to it. Maiden is excited for the Prince versus a Pauper next week. And Michael, not particularly happy to see Bianca coming out before Sasha as the champion. Sasha's the draw. Ultimately, that's the big deal. Sasha is a draw. Do you think when we get the draft again, you think Raw or SmackDown will be better? SmackDown will still be better, no question. Come on, says SmackDown has been fun. It has. The compact nature of SmackDown really lends itself. The last hour for the past couple of weeks have just been tremendous. The first hour still been good as well. The opening promo was good. I didn't mind the Reginald segment. That's probably the weak part for me. That's probably the weakest part for me, but still not a bad part. You're just telling everyone, mate. You're pumping out those that love for Love Wrestling. Yep, they are the big stars, so that makes sense. Yes, it is going to be shown in select theatres, but not over here. And Lauren is looking for red hair. I like the purple. I did. Megan said it's a nice and subtle change for Bianca to have lowered the ponytail. It is, isn't it? It's usually a lot higher. Yeah. The amount of people I know who do not believe that that's her actual hair. Yes, Chelsea, she was. Or we spoke about it over the last couple of weeks. PW Insider said that she would be here this week as well. SmackDown does have different creatives than Raw, but it does have the same creative leads. Is Cena in it? In what, Aiden? In what? In SmackDown? Yes. Oh, right. Is it going to be a triple threat? No, it's going to be John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Brandon, I think, is just really hyped up for Michael Cole. Are you Michael Cole, Mark? Are you Michael Cole? Oh, God, no. A Michael Cole. A Michael Cole. Lauren, Miriam never moved to SmackDown. She's not been moved back. She was always on Raw. She never moved to SmackDown. She's always been kept on Raw because she was needed to help support Keith Lee through what he was going through. Naomi's on SmackDown, that's true. Who have I got for the SummerSlam predictions? Roman, Lashley, Sasha, Nikki, and the Usos. Sasha Banks is about to get thrown into people. Yeah, I mean, this is very powerful indeed. That's very nice. Team of all time? I liked Michael Cole and Corey Graves. I really did. I'm not a JR and the King person. I'm not. And I like JR, but the King really should have been fired a long time beforehand. Essentially, they experienced a real problem with Paige and Del Rio, and they don't want to repeat that. Lauren, he hasn't stated that he has to. He stated that he's going to. I will not speculate as to the potential reasons, and even if I knew, I wouldn't be sharing it. It's not my place. No comment, but if you're a regular on the YouTube channel, you already know when Becky Lynch will be returning. I already shared that. And this is why people should definitely subscribe. If they're even just glancing in momentarily, you should definitely subscribe. Brandon says, Pat just said on commentary to be wary about Sasha after their feud, even though she came to Belair's aid. Does that not make it a little too obvious if Banks does turn on her now? Pat McAfee is unlikely to be aware that Sasha Banks is going to be turning on Bianca Belair. The showrunner will know exactly what's going to be happening. That's been Michael Cole. But Pat McAfee, the color commentator, usually their job is to be a bit more realistic, so they're not always told. I think he's just covering bases based on how things were at WrestleMania. If you're picking a favorite, you got to pick a favorite. Can't pick two. Conrad says predictability isn't bad in wrestling. It's not. It's not at all. If you tell a good story, the end result should be predictable. It should be, and that's a good thing. I don't have anything set up for 5,000 channel points. I need to work out some new options, maybe some audio cues. So I'll start looking into that over the next few days. At the minute, just hold on to them. Megan says Graves did it all the time, though. He was so shady to Sasha, always talking about how she turned on people. When he stopped saying that, that's when we knew what was coming. Chelsea says, what does color commentator mean? Okay, so the commentary change when it's a two-man team. You can see this perfectly with Cole and with Pat McAfee. You have a play-by-play and a color. Play-by-play, your job is to say what is happening in that ring. You have one job. It is to make sure everyone knows what is happening in that ring. Color commentator is there to help when it comes to the quieter periods. You get this in football as well. So in football, you've got a play-by-play. They will be telling you what is going on the field. The color commentator will be giving you stats. They'll be giving you analysis. They'll be talking about individuals. They'll be talking about all of that. That's a color commentator's job. No, I never liked King. Pre-heel Vince McMahon was a good announcer, very true. He obviously knew exactly what he was doing. Lauren, I've already answered this. The issue was Paige and Del Rio's relationship when they put them on separate brands created problems for the WWE. You are just a wall of stuff, Lauren. You can tell it's been a while since you visited. We've literally spoken about literally everything you're putting in the chat right now. Literally all of it. I can't answer everything, but I will endeavor to do the best I can. Jess says, good to know, Tom. Thanks for that. Personally, I can do both. You also see it in podcasts. So, for example, for Nick and Tom's Intercontinental Adventure, I'm the play-by-play guy. But if depending on who I'm working with, I may be color. I was color commentator for the podcast for Sportskeeda, for example, whereas in PW Torch, I'm the play-by-play guy. I can do both. Brandon says, you learn something new every day. You do. You do. And it'll really stand out now, particularly to the football fans. You will know 100% one guy is doing all of the play-by-play and one person is doing all of the color. You'll see it. Lawrence says, I think Pierce should be GM for SmackDown and Sonya for Raw. That's not going to happen because Sonya Deville will not be a GM much longer. It's all right, Lauren. The enthusiasm is very welcome. Lauren says, got to give WWE credit for letting women main event both shows. I don't necessarily think you have to give them credit for that. I think they should be doing it anyway. But it's at least a good step forwards. Ed says, he was tolerable. He was never a really good commentator. Who am I talking about here? Vince McMahon. Got it. I liked him, personally. Don't know, Lauren. Will they, won't they tend to last until they're no longer interesting. Brandon says, Bianca taking most of the damage here for Sasha to shine. The Sasha Banks hot tag is always a good thing. And honestly, Sasha Banks versus Alina should be a bit of a dream match for a lot of people. Particularly Eddie Guerrero fans. A really strong star from Sasha. Twin carrying across the buried? Nope, not at all. Absolutely not. Vince Heel, gotcha. Was Vince a color or play-by-play? He was a play-by-play. Vince was play-by-play. He worked with a number of different people. So he worked with Jerry Lawler. He worked with Randy Savage. They were both color. Jerry Lawler never mastered color. Never worked play-by-play. But yeah, Vince was usually play-by-play until he then had the three-man team, which featured Jim Ross as well. So, for example, I think it was WrestleMania 9. No, it wasn't WrestleMania 9, was it? Not sure. Vince primarily was play-by-play. Oh, thank you, Conrad. Everything Pro Wrestling says came on YouTube to leave you a like on here too. Very much obliged. Thank you kindly. Right. Good spot, Michael. Thank you for letting us know that. The match is already over. The match is already over. We've still got 5 minutes left. Sasha tapped out Carmella. Definitely an angle coming, isn't there? Definitely an angle coming. Do you think they ruined Cesaro? Nope, but I think mid-card is the most he will ever be. Best Vince commentator pay-per-view. I think WrestleMania 12. Personally, I think WrestleMania 12. Is Cole a play-by-play? Yes, he is. Is Lawler still under contract? Nope. They got rid of him a long time ago. And Conrad's already back. I respect it, mate. Really do appreciate it. Every individual like can really go a long way. We are growing, but we could always go a little bit quicker. We're almost 2/3 of the way to monetization on YouTube. Every little does indeed help. So I appreciate that. If you are watching on YouTube, please do remember to click that little thumbs up button. It does make a massive difference to me. Think about it, Chelsea. You'll work it out. I'll leave this one for you guys to work out. Who does most of the description of the actual action on the field? Whose voice can you hear? Oh, look, a backstabber. Crowds are kind of behind Sasha there. Now the boo's starting to come in, but the crowd is still kind of behind her. No, I just saw the runner from earlier who walked in behind Reginald in the crowd. He's a plant. He's a plant. There to do a reaction face. A new style of tornado DDT, just like an extra step involved. Bianca's selling really hard right now. Bianca is tapping. It's not a match, so it doesn't matter, but it's a visible tap regardless. We went to, just after the backstabber, we went to someone in the crowd, stood there with his hand on his head with his mouth wide open, like. We also saw him earlier in the night, around an hour and 10 minutes ago, walking into Gorilla behind Reginald. Guy's a plant. He's there to give a false reaction. The referee's just told Sasha Banks they have a bit more time left. So right back to the bank statement. This is exactly a perfect example of what Conrad said a little bit earlier. Predictability in wrestling is not a bad thing. We all knew this was coming. That doesn't make it any less interesting, any less impactful. We all knew Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair would happen at SummerSlam. We all knew this was coming. Still good. Still good. Bianca started a pass out there. Very nice. As Ed accurately describes, a plant is a fan who isn't a fan, there to give WWE what they want. Essentially, someone has been told, I want you to react to Sasha Banks' turn like this. And he's been caught on camera. Brandon says, Sasha is the boss of turning on people. Indeed. That's been SmackDown, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Let's have a quick look and see who's online. Okay, let's do a search. See who's using the wrestling tag at the moment. Channel is using the wrestling tag. Right. I'm just trying to find someone who's using the wrestling tag who isn't actively showing SmackDown. Who isn't just actively showing. Yeah, most of these are literally just actively showing SmackDown. There's someone showing Fire Pro. Is that their exact name, Ed? I need the exact name so that I can type it in. If you can give me the exact name so I can just copy it, I'll do that. That won't be an issue. Okay, the table says great ending to SmackDown. Absolutely. Moxie thinks that Sasha is going to be winning the match at SummerSlam between the two. To be clear, I'm going to pop onto my YouTube and just check when I officially reported, like when I made it official. I know I've been talking about Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for months. Basically since February at SummerSlam. When did I officially report that the match was going to happen? 3 weeks ago, I officially said that this was going to happen, and it was the 8th of July. 8th of July. Share that on Twitter. Before I do that, let's have a look at J-Dub. No. How dare you? Absolutely not. J Pillow is a terror. He's a menace. He's trouble. CT blood on the clock tower. Here's just a favor for you, Ed. Don't know the person. but we're going to send them a raid anyway. And we'll see them on the other side. I'll leave that with you, Ed. In the meantime, I'm going to shut it down. Jermaine also agrees Sasha Banks is beating Bianca at SummerSlam for that title. To be clear, we've been talking about that exact thing happening for months now. Any regulars here will know that. So it'll be fun watching the news break tomorrow that the WWE are planning a SummerSlam match between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, and everyone will talk about it months ahead. The splash is a signature, not a finisher. She likes the finisher that she has. Not a worry, Ed. That suits me fine. And Brandon says, take care, Tom. I am heading off now. I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to go through with that raid, and I'll see you all on the other side. In the meantime, Monday, spoiler warning, 10 p.m., 5 p.m. EST. And if I'm online on Sunday, it will be an early one again, 10 a.m. UK time. So in the meantime, everyone have a great weekend. I will see you all very soon. Thank you for joining the show tonight.